What's going on there, everybody, and welcome back to some more Planet Zoo. This time we are doing a habitat showcase here for the camel habitat that I created at my wonderful zoo in the campaign mode for the Goodwin Arctic expansion. So to start off here, I already had the outside walls kind of created for the most part for this habitat. So I went in right here and just decided to create the final hill. I wanted to make sure that the camels could not escape, and to do that I was like, alright, let's just create a little like kill mountain type scenic view for them, right? Like you're thinking like in the movies in the desert, you know, you got the camels and then in the background you just see the big hills, right? So that's kind of what I was going for here with this look. So that way part of that habitat kind of gave that off, right? So didn't want to do something like too big, but definitely wanted to get it up there enough where our camels could not escape from that portion of the habitat. And then we kind of just went in around over here and we filled it in with some rocks to kind of just give it a little extra scenic stuff, you know, plus to kind of cover up some of these holes and gaps that were created from the terraforming. Which one of the ways you could fix that is to not have the barriers in already for the habitat. That's one way to get rid of that kind of funky holes in the gaps there from the terraforming. So then after that I was kind of like, I want to create like a water portion for our camels to kind of go through, right? I've seen this in multiple habitats. I've done it in a couple others, but a little bit different. But I want to have the waterfall coming and the camels could kind of just walk under there. I thought it'd be really neat for our guests to see that type of stuff happen. So that's what we're going for here. And then we kind of ran into some issues again with the terraforming tool, but I was like, this works out really well because we could put some scenery around here, and I love how this turned out. This actually turned out really good from like where I thought it was going to be, and so I definitely like this here. We putting some rocks around there, putting a little shrubbery, some bushes, and I think it turned out really well for this portion, especially once the water starts coming down. So that was that. The other thing I was kind of thinking maybe over here was like a waterfall off the mountain, but then I was like, think about it again, right? The desert, right? The camels are in the desert, and we have this, which is a little not deserty. It's definitely zoo-y, but I think that turned out really well. And when you see it all moving and stuff, you'll be like, wow. I think you'll get that same type of reaction out of it because it looks really nice. So then here I kind of just wanted to have, again, you know, you think of like the camels just kind of up on that hill just walking up there, and so that's what we were trying to do there before we move on here to creating their habitat. So this is kind of what we got here, kind of a, I don't know, I was trying to do something different. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I'm not gonna lie, when I was doing this I was just putting pieces together. I was like, let's just see what this does, let's see what this does, and you can see how that all progressed. Originally I was like, well, let's just cut all this out. But I want you guys to see, like, I didn't just create stuff in a matter of like 2 minutes here, right? And kind of like the process of like what I go through when I'm building, because we all build differently. And so you could see like all the different issues that I've had to deal with, all the different like things I tweaked around and played with, and was like, oh, let's try this, oh, let's try that, you know, to get what I got, instead of like, oh, it's just boom, it's right there. Because that's not how my brain works, and I'm sure a lot of people's brains don't work that way either, right? We've all seen the videos of these immaculate buildings and habitats and parks and all this stuff, and you're just like, holy cow, yeah, I'm the same way. So to be able to show this off and how I go about it all is really neat. Plus, you guys can then give me ideas, right? You know, in the comments, you can just let me know, like, hey, you should have tried this, or hey, maybe you ever thought about this. And here's the thing, when I created the second level here and I was putting this roof together, I did not realize how cool it would actually come together. I was just like, oh, let's try this, let's try that. And when everything just kind of came together, I was like, wow, this turned out really nice, you know, like way better than I thought it would. Like it just happened to work out here that this just fit in so perfectly, and I love that. I did not even realize that was going to happen. So some stuff is just by accident, you know. So we're just gonna go in here, we're gonna put a few lights around, and we'll kind of keep sprucing up this building here, and you can kind of see what I've added to it. And definitely you guys can let me know in the comments, you know, like different things like, hey, you probably could have tried this, or hey, you know, do that. You know, obviously probably not gonna do them all, right? Like, there's so many pieces in this game, we can't do everything. But it's just neat for the next habitat that I build or the next building that I work on to see, you know. And you guys can also be like, hey, maybe that wasn't the greatest fit, you know, either. But definitely let me know. But yeah, so we'll just kind of let this go here so you guys could see how I finish up this building. Alright, so that is kind of a lot of the work. It took forever, right, to get the trim, the windows. Now we're just kind of going to add these little, like, bases around there just to kind of give it a little something. We'll add a little shrubbery. Again, though, we don't want to add a ton of shrubbery to this habitat, right, because the desert camels, you know, very open space. So I didn't want to put a ton of shrubbery around, but I wanted to add enough stuff to kind of fill in, like, some gaps like that, or to just make it look a little bit more greener so we don't have all of this sand look alike around here. So we're going to go in, we're going to get the camels put in, and then we're going to kind of see what other small little details that we need to change up to make their habitat habitable for them. So the biggest thing here was like, okay, do we put another tree or do we just leave it open? And then it's like, okay, what we need to do is we need to try and sprucing up this mountain a little bit more, right? So we'll just add some rocks in here to kind of just give it a little different flavor so it's not just straight up and down like bam, right? So kind of adds a little bit. Not 100% sold on the look of it, but it actually it works out for my liking. So go in, we'll add some of their feeders and some of their other great little things here too. You know, water. They could drink from the little waterfall area that we have, but it's always good to have a nice little water feeder for them. And then we got enough viewing points for them to see the guests and the guests to see them. But yeah, again, you know, so you can see like some of my issues with my build designs, but you don't notice them from a distance. So, and then we just kind of finish up. You know, we got to get the landscaping properly formed. So it works out really well there. You can see they're using that little hill exactly how I wanted it to be. So it works out really, really nice that they did that, because it was like, oh my god, this worked. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. So, but I'm going to leave you guys here. Definitely leave some comments, you know, ideas and things to try out. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to leave it here though so you guys can look at the finishing touches and what this all looks like when it all came together. So thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to catch you all with another video with Planet Zoo. Tycoon.